major breakthrough in this strategy. Again, we are doing some significant work in this field. I can't talk about it because it's not published yet, but we hope that very soon it will be published and we have more information on how to make this, the second SIB that we're talking about, distinguishing the two forms of diabetes. But one thing we did realize in our studies, as our patient illustrates, is that there is a weight loss that occurs in the presence of diabetes. Normally, if you lose weight, your diabetes goes away. That's the cure for diabetes, is to lose weight. But in pancreatic cancer, there's a paradoxical worsening of diabetes in the face of weight loss, sometimes profound weight loss. So these patients are losing 40, 50 pounds of weight, even as their diabetes is getting worse. So we believe that this weight loss is very unusual, and we are trying to understand what this weight loss is. And it occurs well before the cancer diagnosis, and it continues afterwards. But we believe that, again, this is a clue that that we can distinguish the two forms of diabetes. What we don't have is a PSA for pancreatic cancer. PSA itself is a much maligned test, which many urologists here will tell you is not the best test for prostate cancer. But still, it's something out there that is as a biomarker. We're looking for something which will be the equivalent for pancreatic cancer. And again, as I said, we and others are looking and have some promising leads in this direction. But we hope that this will be the next breakthrough, that we'll have something that will detect cancer when it's still not visible on a CT scan, so we can look at these patients with new onset diabetes, apply this biomarker to that group, and then find something, enrich the population for pancreatic cancer, and then screen for that. So basically, this is our approach, and this is the structure of the EXPAND trial, where we look for new onset diabetes, and then we apply a second SIB, which is either weight loss. The only biomarker out there today is CA19-9. It's not the greatest biomarker, but that is what we have. So we have used that. And of course, we will be looking for other biomarkers. So we take patients with new onset diabetes, apply a second SIB, and those who have this biomarker, then they go to endoscopic ultrasound as the next step. So this is the structure of the EXPAND trial. This is how it is being designed to work. So as I got an unsolicited email, which kind of gives you a reason why we should screen for new onset diabetes, screen pancreatic cancer. So I don't know this patient. This is not my patient. This is an unsolicited email. My 65-year-old husband was recently diagnosed with diabetes with a fasting sugar of 255. He's not obese. He does not have a family history of diabetes. He's lost 15 pounds. I am worried. I think this man needs to have an endoscopic ultrasound to rule out pancreatic cancer. I have spoken repeatedly to his general practitioner and internist. I have been told testing would not be beneficial as pancreatic cancer is so aggressive and always fatal. Also, they both point out that he has no symptoms of pancreatic cancer, so thus far refused scheduling any tests. So this is very typical. When I talk to my internists about it, they say, show me the data. So there is a reluctance at this point to think of pancreatic cancer in this setting, but I think the message needs to go out that this is something that needs to be looked at. I'm not saying that every general practitioner should order a CT scan and endoscopic ultrasound on a patient with new onset diabetes. I'm saying that research should go into this to come up with a rational strategy which is cost-effective to make this work. So that's what the EXPAND trial is. Basically, it stands for examination of the pancreas and new onset diabetes. You really want to put pancreatic cancer in the name because patients get scared about it, even consenting for the study because they worry that, what are we doing here? I just have diabetes, you're telling me I have pancreatic cancer now? So the EXPAND trial is being funded by the Sandler-Kenner Foundation. I think that they were way ahead of their times because this was way before the NIH recognized this as an important field. But they felt that this was something that they wanted to get into, and they've been helping us with this trial. And what we have done so far is, apart from getting this trial through the Institutional Review Board, it is not an easy trial to even for the IRB to agree upon because there's lots of stuff here that can scare the patient. There's lots of things here. So, but we are able to get through that, and we are able to get all the approvals necessary to do the study. Because of Mayo Clinic's electronic medical records, we are able to identify these patients. The other problem we have is that as gastroenterologists, we don't see these patients. New ones of diabetes is seen by internists. They're not even seen by the endocrinologist. They're seen only by the general practitioner. And general practitioners are reluctant to enroll their patients in trials like this. So we have to find a way to get to these patients without necessarily having to go to the general practitioner. So in Mayo Clinic, we certainly have the ability to identify the patients in real time as soon as they have diabetes. So we have been able to put this in place and be able to identify patients with new diabetes fairly effectively. We invite them to participate in the EXPIRE trial. We collect whatever sample that anybody is interested in. There have been requests to collect blood, stool, and saliva, so we've been doing that. And then in a subset of patients who have lost weight or who have an elevated CA19-9, we do a CT scan and endoscopic ultrasound. And the goal is to develop a practical strategy for the detection of non-familial sporadic pancreatic cancer. That's the goal. So, as I said, the NIH has defined the priorities this year, and the two top priorities are the association, to study the association between diabetes and pancreatic cancer, and to develop screening strategies for sporadic pancreatic cancer. This is the number one and number two priorities of the National Institutes of Health as far as pancreatic cancer is concerned. So this has taken a village to do all the studies, and there's lots of people involved in various aspects of the study. But most importantly, funding is most important for us. Without that, we couldn't do anything. And the NIH funded us for the first 10, 15 years. The Last Carbon Foundation chipped in. My Sandler-Kenner Foundation has been the first one to give us money for something which the NIH will not give us money for, because they thought at that time it was a crazy idea. So I'm sure if we had submitted that grant to the NIH, they would have funded it. It's just an out-of-the-box idea which had to be funded by somebody who believed in it. And we thank the Sandler-Kenner Foundation for doing it. And stop here, I'll take any questions. Thank you.
The pancreas produces insulin, right?
Yes.
From the
Yes.
Isles of Langerhans or something.
Yes.
And that reduces glucose, right?
Yes.
And so that's, is there no way to let's say, do autopsies of pancreatic patients or something to determine the method of the pathway by which the pancreatic cancer, you said, so these patients manifest high glucose,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So is there no way to determine the connection between the operation of the pancreas and the diabetes, the high glucose, through examination of the tissues after death, or some, in other words, determine the mechanism by which the pancreas is causing the diabetes?
So that's been the focus of our work for the past 5 to 6 years. And last year, we published a study which did exactly what you're saying. We looked at the tissues, we looked at the blood, and we think we have identified the molecule that the cancer produces, which causes the islet cells to reduce insulin production. When we take pancreatic cancer cells and grow them in culture, and we take out the cells and take that culture medium and expose islets to that culture medium, the islets produce less insulin. So we know that it's something that is secreting into the culture medium, which is inhibiting insulin secretion. So because of that, we developed a model of studying the culture medium to try and see what was in it. And based on a series of studies, we identified a molecule which we think suppresses insulin secretion. And it is still not clear how that molecule goes from the cancer to the islets. The pancreas is fairly big, and you might think that the cancer is causing diabetes in the same organ. What's the problem? Well, at the time the cancer is causing the diabetes, it's very small. It's not damaging the pancreas. It's hardly a centimeter in size. And so what is it that the cancer is producing, which is shutting down the entire pancreas? And we think that we have identified a mechanism, and that's what I'm saying. That's the lead we had, and we're trying to develop that lead to try and see if we can come up with a strategy for it. So I agree with you that the cause of diabetes might also be its biomarker. And so that's been our strategy for
So as a pancreatic surgeon, my question for you is that would it not make sense to look at hemoglobin A1C and BMI in some sort of formula to provide a so for the audience, hemoglobin A1C is a measure of sort of a 3-month glucose control. And then most type 2 diabetics, as you know well, are insulin resistant because of obesity. So body mass index would be a sensible thing to use. Comments?
So again, good questions, because that's the first thing we try to see is, can you tell the difference between a cancer patient with diabetes and type 2 diabetes? What we did was we calculated the BMI not at the time of diagnosis because they lost a lot of weight, but maybe 2 years before, an adult BMI, normal adult BMI. And we compared about 500 diabetics, pancreatic cancer diabetics with type 2 diabetics. Unfortunately, we couldn't tell them apart. The pancreatic cancer patients are also obese. So BMI before their diagnosis, their adult BMI is no different from that of type 2 diabetic. They have the same family history of diabetes as a normal and a type 2 diabetic. So we couldn't tell them apart based on usual risk factors for diabetes. We couldn't tell them apart. So that would have been the easy way out, but we couldn't. We looked at insulin levels, we looked at a lot of different things, and we can't tell them apart. So I think whatever is causing the diabetes is going to be included.
And then hemoglobin A1C?
Yes, it is a measure of diabetes, obviously. So, we are using that in the expand trial as the BMI, all this is being taken into account. But I suspect it's not going to be. Both diabetics are going to have one of those, right? Yes. Yes.
Once you can do this test and figure out that somebody does have early onset of pancreatic cancer, what will then be the course of treatment?
That would have to be taken out.
So you take out the pancreas or
Part of it.
Part of it. And that would also, then you said that would reverse the diabetes?
Yes.
And you can live?
You can live without part of all of your pancreas. It's just requires insulin. You take insulin and you take enzymes to digest your food. But the idea is not to take out the whole pancreas. That's not going to help. Only taking out the part of the pancreas where the cancer is. And so there are very few solid organ cancers, organs of cancers that can be cured simply with chemotherapy. So even breast cancer, even if it's 1 centimeter size, you take out the cancer. You don't say, take chemotherapy and radiation therapy and you don't need surgery. Even a small breast cancer is taken out. Same thing with colon. It's just unlikely that pancreatic cancer is going to be cured with chemotherapy alone. It has to be removed. The problem is it doesn't even give us an opportunity to remove it. So, and when it's removed, it's already too far gone. So the idea is to find something that is removable. You, Dr. Jairaj, is a lot of business here. Yes.
So one of the beauties of this, I think, is that if it proved out it's relatively low cost, it can be reproduced and employed around the world. And the other thing is we do a lot of medical research in retrospective nature, and this is a prospective trial. How many other prospective trials have been done for early diagnosis of pancreatic cancer?
Not in the pancreatic cancer field, because people have basically said that it's not possible to diagnose pancreatic cancer early. There's no strategy. If you don't use nuance of diabetes, there's no strategy. Because you can't screen, people are screening the general population with CA19-9. It produces so many false positives that you spend all your time chasing those false positives. Whatever people are trying is basically, the Japanese have tried 2 strategies. They're trying to ultrasound on everybody. They're very thin people. They're trying to ultrasound on everybody who comes through the door. It's, again, not practical. And they've done CA19-9 when everybody walks through the door. Again, not practical. So whatever strategies have been tried are really not going practical. So this is the only strategy where you're trying to enrich the population and then going after that. This is the only strategy that's being there. The only other strategy for early infection is in those who family history. It's a really different ballgame, but there people are trying.
That's what makes it so unique, it can be done with the milieu of the Mayo Clinic around it to help with organization and patient populace, and then we put in the financing so we can employ.
Our hope is that we will learn lessons from our study in Ontario County, a very controlled population, and then be able to share with the rest of the world how to do it in the rest of the world. We don't only want to do it at a nationwide level, but we are learning a lot of lessons from what we've done in the past years, and we hope that that can be translated into something that others can get. They don't have to go through the same painful process that we have to go. The learning curve is shortened for other people. That's all I mean. Yes.
For the small percentage of people that are cured by a partial pancreatectomy, is the disease reversed?
Yes. The problem is that the average size of a tumor that's taken out today is about 3 centimeters. That's the average size of a resected cancer. And at that size, it probably is not defined. So the average survival of a resected pancreatic cancer today is 22 months. So our hope is that we will pick it up at a time when it's still confined to the pancreas. If you take the literature on 1 centimeter of pancreatic cancer, the 5-year survival is 85%. Whereas the 5-year survival today is 15% for the second cancer. So the smaller the cancer is when you pick it up, the longer the 5-year survival. So what we have today is not something that we want to use as a benchmark for what we want to achieve. As I told Mr. Goodfriend here, it's very easy to make a difference in pancreatic cancer. It's so distal. It is very easy. Many drugs have been approved for pancreatic cancer because they improve survival by 2 weeks compared to controls. That's how bad it is. Tarcimo was approved. It only made a difference of 2 weeks. So, unfortunately, the bar is very low. But we hope that we can do much better than that. Yes.
How invasive is endoscopic ultrasound and how expensive?
Similar to a colonoscopy. It does require more expertise than a colonoscopy.
It goes down the
Yeah.
socket.
It does require more training than a colonoscopy does. But it certainly takes, for an expert endoscopist, it doesn't take very long.
And it is the method of choice for diagnosing.
Only because it's not visible on a CT scan or MRI.
Right.
If you had a test which would pick it up without needing an endoscopic ultrasound, that would be great. As I said, there are people working on that as well. But at this point, there is nothing else that can pick up that small.
We want to thank Dr. Carter for a wonderful.
So much.
Hi, good evening. Well, I don't really know exactly what to say. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. This is a dream come true. I'm just overwhelmed to have Dr. Chari here in the room this evening and to be able to present with us his studies and to speak to us about this disease that we obviously want to eradicate, and we are focused on doing something about it. I have to put my glasses on, hold on. It's really telling my age. So, Dr. Chari, as you know, we appreciate you being here and presenting this evening, and we feel so honored to be partnered with you and the Mayo Clinic. We also have another person we'd like to thank this evening. Unfortunately, he's not here. His name is Dr. Bill Go. Dr. Go is a major force in the fight against pancreatic cancer. In addition to being a professor of medicine at the David Geffen School at UCLA, he's the director of the Center for Excellence in Pancreatic Disease Research, and he's the editor-in-chief of Pancreas, a highly regarded publication. Dr. Go sits on many influential pancreatic cancer foundation boards around the world, and he actually sits on our board. And I want to thank Dr. Go from the bottom of my heart for setting us up with Dr. Chari and this Mayo Clinic research. He was the one that encouraged us early on to say, you know, early diagnosis is where the money's at, and it's where the research is not being, and the money is not being emphasized. And he encouraged us to participate in this study. And although he's not here with us in the room, I know his presence is felt. And I want to say thank you. Just thank you so much, Dr. Go. Appreciate it. I'd also like to thank all of you here for being here and being part of our journey. We've really just begun, and the EXPAND trial is the first step in fulfilling our mission, which is to seek out and fund research for early detection and diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. We know that early detection is the key to beating this horrible disease, and we are diving in headfirst to support the research, and we are laser focused at what we need to do. Sandler-Kenner has committed $500,000 in support of the EXPAND trial with the Mayo Clinic, and we look forward to raising other funds in addition to help fund groundbreaking research. There's so many of you in the room here this evening that have been so generous to donate to our cause. And we hope we can continue to have your support and commitment to our mission. For those of you who are just learning about the Sandler-Kenner Foundation, we hope you feel inspired by what Dr. Go had to add to this evening. We don't only want your donations, but we would love for you to spread the word about what our mission is. Please tell a friend, tell a colleague, tell a family member, tell anyone who you can about what we're doing, because we realize that the awareness of what we're approaching here with this study is going to make a difference. I'd like to thank Randy Jacobs and Matt Thompson for making this evening possible. Again. And, you know, they wrote this script for me to speak. But I really want to talk from the bottom of my heart. You know, I feel very fortunate to be here and to share this exciting news with y'all. But, you know, after losing 2 friends to pancreatic cancer and living with a husband who's a cancer specialist my whole life, who I love, I realized that, you know, we needed to do something. And, you know, he said, well, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. What do you think we should do? First, we lost our friend Michael Sandler, and then we lost another dear friend, Peter Kenner. And we struggled with, you know, what should we do? There's foundations out there that are doing all kinds of things. And it took a long time, but we've brought it through this fruition, and we're actually here, and this is the first one, and I've never been more excited in my life about anything. I don't have anything better going on. I'm so thrilled you're all here to share with this evening, and I'm like verklempt. I don't even know what to say. I even wore purple, which I've never worn before, but in the pride of pancreatic cancer research, it's an honor to be here with y'all, and it's an honor to have Dr. Chari here, and I hope you will continue to support this cause, and I hope you will all, you know, follow what we're doing. We're hoping to go global. We are. And I know we have great things to come. So thank you so much, and thank you, Greg, for making this possible. Thank you.
Everybody can sit around and have some drinks and enjoy dinner, and we'll be around talking and chatting. And thank you, everybody, for coming. We've never done anything like this before. We're honored and thrilled to have you. And I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It's so impressive. Nothing wrong with doing a little good.
Yeah.